legends of the game. Take me to see the old ballparks. I don't care if it takes forever. Let me learn about the game. If I miss some, it's a shame, for it's legends, heroes, and stars in the Hall of Fame. Join the baseball historian, where we love baseball's history. From the past to the present day, every tale we'll pursue. In our podcast, we'll take you through the stories of the game. From the Negro Leagues to World Series wins, let's explore and learn more. Take me through baseball history with the legends of the game. Take me to see the old ballparks. I don't care if it takes forever. Let me learn about the game. If I miss some, it's a shame, for it's legends, heroes, and stars in the Hall of Fame. With the legends of the game, take me to see the old ballparks. I don't care if it takes forever. Let me learn about the game. If I miss some, it's a shame, for it's legends, heroes, and stars in the Hall of Fame.
Welcome to the Baseball Historian, where we celebrate the game that's captured hearts for over a century. From the crack of the bat to the seventh inning stretch, baseball is woven into the fabric of American culture, and we're here to unravel its fascinating history. I'm your host, and each week we'll swing for the fences with stories that'll make you cheer, laugh, and see the game in a whole new light. Whether you're a stats nerd, a trivia buff, or just love a great tale, there's something here for you. So grab your glove, settle in, and let's step up to the plate together. One of my favorite displays here at the Negro Leagues Baseball Museum is the Geddy Lee collection. Yes, the Geddy Lee, lead singer and bass guitarist of the legendary Hall of Fame rock group Rush. Well, Geddy is a huge baseball fan. As a matter of fact, you can see him at Toronto Blue Jay games all the time, keeping score. Well, unbeknownst to us, he is a huge sport memorabilia collector. Well, the story has it that Rush was playing a concert here in Kansas City several years ago. And Geddy had a great friend that lived here who has sadly passed on, who says, "I'm going to take you by to experience the Negro Leagues Baseball Museum." Well, after coming and visiting the museum, and like most, he fell in love with what he saw here at the museum. Well, after leaving, a collection of single-signed Negro League player autographed baseballs come up in an auction. He decided that he would bid on them with the intent of donating the baseballs back to the Negro Leagues Baseball Museum. Well, Geddy wins the bid. His office calls and says, "Geddy's got a few baseballs he'd like to donate. Would you all like to have them?" Well, naturally we say yes, but we're thinking 3 or 4 that he might have picked up in an auction somewhere. Turns out to be 200. He has since donated an additional lot of 200, now giving the Negro Leagues Baseball Museum one of the largest collection of single-side Negro League player autographed baseballs anywhere in the world. And it's all due to the benevolence of one Geddy Lee, a white Canadian rocker. It goes to show that there's no boundaries when it comes to this story. The story touches virtually everyone who experiences it. And I can tell you, in these cases, there are baseballs of Hall of Famers. There are guys who are cup of coffee guys in the Negro Leagues, but they're all important to us because 99.9% of the signatures in those cases, we couldn't get their signatures if we wanted them because they've all passed on. And there are novelty names such as the legendary Charlie Pride. Yeah, the country music sensation Charlie Pride, who began his career well before his pioneering music career. Charlie Pride played in the Negro Leagues. As a matter of fact, Charlie Pride had been an outstanding pitcher in the Negro Leagues who made his way into the New York Yankees organization. It was in the Yankees organization that he hurt his arm. And after hurting his arm, he fell back on a pioneering country western music career some 72 million albums sold later. We should all have a fallback career like Charlie Pride. But not only did Geddy Lee donate the baseballs, he came back and dedicated the baseballs. Now, I'll be honest, I knew who Rush was, but I can't say that I was a big Rush fan before. But I'm a Rush fan now. Well, as I sit here on the field of legends at the Negro Leagues Baseball Museum, surrounded by immortals of the game, one of them hailed from Cuba. As a matter of fact, he was El Immortal, or El Maestro, as he was known in Cuba. That would be the great Martin Dihigo. Martin Dihigo holds the distinction of being the only baseball player to be enshrined into 5 different countries' baseball halls of fame. He's in the Mexican, Cuban, Venezuelan, Dominican, and in Cooperstown. Played all 9 positions, played all 9 of them well. One year in the Mexican League, Dihigo wins the pitching title. He goes 19-2 with a remarkable 0.90 ERA. In that same season, he hit .387 and won the batting title. You cannot come out of Cuba and not know the name Martin Dihigo. And one of my favorite memories of Martin Dihigo, in 2006, the Chicago White Sox, Kenny Williams, and the world champion Chicago White Sox had won the World Series in 2005. Well, at the end of the 2005 season, we honored Kenny Williams with the Rube Foster Award as the American League Executive of the Year. During his acceptance speech, he looked out in the audience and he told Buck O'Neil that the following year, when the Chicago White Sox came back to town to play the Kansas City Royals, he was going to bring the entire team to do so. He lived up to his word, brought everybody. And perhaps there may have been a few guys came kicking and screaming. They didn't necessarily all maybe want to come, but once they got here, they fell in love with the place. What's not to love? Well, one of my greatest memories of that visit was a player named Jose Contreras, who was with the White Sox at that time, who hails from Cuba. And when he walked in and stepped out on this field and saw his fellow countryman, Martin Dihigo, at the plate, he just lit up. I'm not sure he realized that Dihigo had played in the Negro Leagues. Because again, it's difficult to come out of Cuba as a baseball player and not know the name El Maestro, the great Martin Dihigo. Welcome to the Street Hotel. The Street Hotel was the black-owned hotel right here on the corner of 18th and Paseo here in the historic 18th and Vine Jazz District. And let me tell you, it wasn't a travesty to have to stay at the Street Hotel. This depicts the sitting room of the Street Hotel. You could walk into the sitting room of the street on any given day, and you might see sitting in one of these chairs former heavyweight boxing champion Joe Louis, or at that time the fastest man in the world, Jesse Owens, although Jesse Owens would never race the legendary Cool Papa Bell. Jesse Owens would flat out refuse to race Cool Papa Bell. Jesse Owens would race horses around the bases, but never Cool Papa Bell. Here's the beautiful Lena Horne, shown throwing out the first pitch at an East-West All-Star Classic. There's the great orchestra leader Lionel Hampton. Lionel Hampton was a devout Monarch fan. As a matter of fact, the late great Buck O'Neil would put Hampton in a Monarch uniform. He'd sit on the bench and serve as an honorary coach. The great Cab Calloway had his own semi-pro black baseball team. So did Louis Armstrong. Interestingly enough, all the jazz musicians wanted to be baseball players. All the baseball players wanted to be jazz musicians. So it was only fitting they'd come together here at 18th and Vine, where you had the best of both worlds, jazz and baseball radiating from this one street corner. The other reason that we have what we call lifestyle exhibits is that it's important for us to help people understand the economic impact created by black baseball. Wherever you had successful black baseball, you had thriving black economies. Keep in mind that it wasn't uncommon for these athletes to go into a town, fill up the ballpark, and yet not be able to get a meal from the same fans who had just cheered them. So these players would have to sleep on the bus and eat their peanut butter and crackers. Well, black-owned businesses like the Street Hotel emerged to meet those needs. Negro Leagues Baseball brought them a built-in clientele that led those businesses to their economic heights. If there is a bittersweet aspect to the overall story of the rise and fall of the Negro Leagues, it lies in the fact that you can directly parallel the rise and fall of the Negro Leagues with the rise and fall of black economy in this country. And to a great extent, black economy never recovered from losing the Negro Leagues. So what was good morally, what was good socially, was devastating economically. This has been Bob Kendrick for Story. 22 amazing stories of the Negro Leagues in 22 amazing weeks. Stay tuned for the next episode next week. That's all for this episode of The Baseball Historian. Thanks for joining us on this journey through the heart of America's pastime. From dusty diamonds to roaring stadiums, we've uncovered the stories that make baseball more than a game. It's a legacy of passion, grit, and dreams. Keep your ears on deck for our next episode, where we'll dive into another chapter of baseball's unforgettable past. As the great Jackie Robinson once said, a life is not important except in the impact it has on other lives. Let's keep exploring the lives and legends that shape this sport. Until next time, swing for the stars.
In the world of baseball, there's so much to know. From the seeds that were sown long ago. With the baseball historian, let's go on a trip through time, let the learning flow. Let's go to the baseball historian, where the past is our domain. Hear the stories of the game that will always remain. Root for the knowledge gain. If we don't learn, it's a shame. For it's facts and stats without pain at the baseball historian's game. From the first recorded game to today, every moment, every play we'll survey. The evolution of the game, come what may. With the baseball historian, hip hip hooray. Let's go to the baseball historian, where the past is our domain. Hear the stories of the game that will always remain. Root for the knowledge gain. If we don't learn, it's a shame. For it's facts and stats without pain at the baseball historian's game.